Angel Reese, often regarded as a rising star in the WNBA, made bold claims about assembling a powerhouse team in Chicago. She promised to bring in top-tier talent and create a dominant force in the league. But now, reality has set in. None of the biggest free agents seem interested in joining her. Chicago was on the radar for several stars, but their response? Yeah, I'm good. Kelsey Plum?
Gone.
Jewel Lloyd?
Nope.
Brittany Griner? Not a chance to SO. What went wrong? The league's top players had other options and ultimately chose teams with a proven track record of success rather than taking a gamble on Reese's so-called super team. This free agency misstep might go down as one of the most disappointing in WNBA history. Let's break it all down, grab some popcorn because this one is wild. Before we dive in, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to stay updated on all things WNBA, including game breakdowns, major trades, and behind-the-scenes insights. Now, let's get started.
Free agency is officially underway, Annie. So when you see these names and the options, what do you think that they're cooking up?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because Angel and Camilla are very...
Angel Reese carried herself as if she had complete control over the league, like she had already designed championship rings with her face on them. She spoke with certainty about winning titles and assembling a team full of superstars. She proclaimed herself the reigning queen of women's basketball and seemed to have the victory celebrations mapped out before the season even began.
Reese and Camilla Cardoso, too, have brought relevance to this team that they've desperately needed in a time when, again, if not for them, they'd be completely...
Angel envisioned herself celebrating with champagne at lavish parties, convinced that every top player would sacrifice everything to join her Chicago dream team. In her mind, she could already picture a Netflix documentary showcasing her rise to WNBA greatness. But let's snap back to reality. Not only did her recruitment efforts fall flat, but they also flopped harder than a Netflix series canceled after just one season due to dismal ratings.
Lads, this is not great news, for the Chicago Sky, who are a team that obviously, they're rebuilding. This is a team that is 100% rebuilding.
The only legendary thing about Reese's plan was its spectacular failure. She misjudged her relationships with players and greatly overestimated her charm, influence, and, honestly, her ability to build a team environment that others truly wanted to join.
Not a good day for the Chicago Sky. Not a good day at all, because we have heard news from the journalist who reports on...
Angel Reese lounges on her couch, feeling like the biggest star in the world as she scrolls through her phone. She's already grinning, imagining championship parades in downtown Chicago, champagne celebrations, and extravagant parties. She's probably rehearsing victory speeches and picturing the perfect Instagram posts featuring her all-star teammates. Confidently, she fires off messages to the league's top WNBA players, expecting enthusiastic replies like, "Absolutely," "Angel," or "Count me in." But then, reality hits like a lightning bolt. Hours turn into days, and all she's met with is silence.
WNBA insider, that Illinois native Jewel Lloyd will not be going to Chicago.
When her phone buzzes, she eagerly picks it up, only to find yet another spam email or a low battery alert. After being ghosted, Angel felt more abandoned than someone left hanging on a high five. That doesn't happen standing alone in an empty room while everyone you know is at a massive party. The saddest playlist softly plays in the background. The word brutal doesn't quite capture the feeling. To be fair, Angel Reese's experience of rejection is both heartbreaking and oddly humorous.
Big names you gotta know: Alyssa Thomas, Natasha Cloud, Brittany Griner. Let's start Brittany Griner, joining Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard in Atlanta.
Kelsey Plum was at the top of Angel's wish list. As a game-changing shooter and a proven champion, Plum seemed like the perfect addition. The superstar teammate who would finally match Angel's bold ambitions. Angel's reaction upon hearing the news must have been the emotional equivalent of tripping over socks, running out of coffee in the morning, or realizing too late that she had left her phone at home. Plum didn't just decline Angel's offer. She dismissed it with a laugh and headed straight to sunny Los Angeles. Meanwhile, Angel had likely already envisioned them as the ultimate duo, wearing matching uniforms, celebrating victories with high fives, and starring in slow-motion TV ads. This wasn't just a rejection, it was a harsh reality check. Plum saw through the dream of an ideal super team, leaving Angel reeling. Angel may have felt misled, believing she had a strong connection with Plum. Perhaps Plum simply wasn't interested in Angel's high-energy persona, or maybe she preferred a different kind of locker room dynamic. Either way, Angel's grand plan unraveled faster than a poorly built piece of furniture.
Are that golden destination, and I can't help but laugh to the fans and the people online and the media commentator, unfortunately, who said that nobody wanted to play.
Reality had other plans when Angel's relentless self-promotion got in the way. Perhaps she even envisioned them as the WNBA's ultimate duo, gracing magazine covers together and celebrating their unbreakable bond as best friends. However, despite a roster filled with unproven talent and a front office making questionable decisions, Jewel Lloyd wasted no time packing her bags and heading to Las Vegas, quicker than someone skipping a 2-minute YouTube ad.
Had an incredible season for us last year, says the GM. She's extremely talented and is a player that can impact the game at the highest level in our league.
This wasn't just a polite no, thanks. It was a hard pass. The decision came down to several factors, including leadership, stability, and, let's be honest, avoiding unnecessary drama. Basketball was only part of the equation, so what led to Lloyd's rejection. Las Vegas offers a winning culture, a proven system, and legitimate star power, while Chicago boasts more celebrity appeal than on-court dominance. But don't worry, Angel, there are still plenty of free agents to pursue. The problem? They're all steering clear of Chicago, too. Speaking of major rejections, let's talk about the next one. Angel Reese was left sending unanswered texts, hoping for a breakthrough, when another key player from her dream super team vanished from the equation. The dunking powerhouse, Brittany Griner, took one look at Chicago and said, "No, I'm good." Instead, she packed her bags and headed to Atlanta, leaving Angel Reese once again wondering where things went wrong.
Angel Reese, did she just run a coach out of town, and is she running a player out of town? Their best shooter out of town?
Imagine being on the verge of assembling a WNBA dream team, only to find out that one of the league's biggest stars would rather go elsewhere. That's not just rejection. It's a flashing neon warning sign that, let's be honest, Brittany Griner didn't struggle with this decision. If Chicago's offer was a gourmet meal, then the reality was more like a stale, flavorless piece of bread. Choosing Atlanta over Chicago was like picking a gas station sandwich over fine dining. Who would willingly do that? Chicago had all the red flags, a chaotic front office, an inexperienced roster, and just when Angel Reese thought things couldn't get worse, another star, Alyssa Thomas, walked away without hesitation. She didn't even glance back before heading to Phoenix. Alyssa Thomas didn't bother pretending Chicago was an option. She saw the reality, a turbulent, drama-filled mess. She's a serious player who wants a championship, not the dysfunction of a reality TV show. Unlike Angel, Thomas lets her game do the talking instead of just making bold claims on social media. But if you thought that was bad, here comes the real gut punch. Angel's own teammate, Brianna Turner, also packed her bags for Indiana. And who's there? Caitlin Clark, the rising star who's stealing Angel's spotlight. Turner chose to play alongside Clark, leaving Angel to convince herself that it wasn't a betrayal. But let's be real, that must have stung. Don't worry, Angel. There's still time to sign big names, except another piece of her so-called super team vision just disappeared. Losing a teammate to the league's biggest star? That's like your best friend skipping your birthday to party with your biggest rival. Speaking of Indiana, let's talk about how the Fever are building a powerhouse while Chicago scrambles. Unlike the Sky, Indiana quietly assembled a stacked squad featuring Natasha Howard, Dana Evans, and Kelsey Mitchell. But their true game changer? Caitlin Clark. Clark has electrified the fan base, filling arenas and dominating headlines. In less time than you could say airball, she snatched the crown right off Angel's head. If you've made it this far, you must be enjoying the video, so why not take a second to hit the follow button? It's free, easy, and ensures you never miss a beat on your favorite teams and players, from game highlights to exclusive behind-the-scenes moments.
Hell, but wonder, is that what happened here? Is Angel Reese and the way she wants to play? And I don't know if you've ever noticed her social media posts, but she's very me. Always.
Making matters worse, Chicago's front office only added to the chaos by parting ways with top scorer Kennedy Carter. If the league gets the impression that winning is no longer a priority, it's no surprise that star players are leaving the city like rats fleeing a sinking ship. The harsh reality that no one wants to join her dream squad must feel like planning a party, only for no one to show up. Imagine Angel Reese staring at her silent phone, disappointment written all over her face. Let's take a closer look at the turmoil inside the locker room. According to sources, Reese's ego created a toxic atmosphere within the team. Kennedy Carter and Gabby Williams didn't just leave, they bolted, faster than students racing out the door when the Friday dismissal bell rings. In my opinion, the drama doesn't stop there. Chicago's facilities are so outdated they might as well be running on floppy disks. Meanwhile, teams like Indiana and Vegas boast state-of-the-art training centers and modern gyms. No superstar is trading a top-tier facility for a rundown Chicago gym that looks straight out of a 90s sitcom. Despite Caitlin Clark consistently selling out arenas while Angel Reese struggles to fill even half-capacity crowds, Reese still sees herself as the league's true star. But let's be real, fans show up for talent and excitement, not drama. Now, after every top free agent has rejected her so-called super team, Angel faces the biggest challenge of her career. She must decide, will she cement herself as a franchise player or fade into irrelevance faster than a one-hit wonder? All the hype, bold recruiting promises, and non-stop self-promotion mean nothing now. Game time is here, no more excuses. But at its core, this is about more than just basketball. It's about her ego, her legacy, and proving that she belongs in the same conversation as true superstars like Caitlin Clark. Besso, what's it going to be? Angel? Will you silence the doubters and lead Chicago to success? Or keep posting on Instagram while the real WNBA stars continue making history? For months, Angel positioned herself as the league's ambassador, yet the league's best players have made one thing clear. They'd rather play with someone else. The clock is ticking, and time is running out. Winning championships requires more than just talent. It demands a winning culture, state-of-the-art facilities, teamwork, and strong leadership. Right now, Chicago has none of that, let's be real. Instead of improving the situation, Reese's big talk has only made things worse. Titles aren't won with Instagram likes, no matter how entertaining her self-promotion may be. If Angel ever hopes to compete with Caitlin Clark, the undeniable face of women's basketball, she needs to focus more on practice and less on tweets. Clark's record-breaking performances have sold out arenas across the country, turning casual viewers into devoted fans. Whether Angel likes it or not, the moment Caitlin Clark stepped onto the court, she stole the spotlight. Clark isn't just being praised, she's being celebrated. WNBA legend Lisa Leslie and elite basketball minds like Coach K have publicly called her the future of the sport. She's not just being acknowledged, she's being welcomed with open arms. And where is Angel Reese in this conversation? Nowhere to be found. The so-called face of the league isn't even a footnote in this discussion. While basketball's greatest minds are recognizing Clark's impact, Reese seems stuck trying to convince herself she still matters. But if legends, coaches, and analysts worldwide are acknowledging Clark's dominance, maybe it's time for Angel to do the same. The more she denies it, the more she looks like a bitter bystander watching history unfold without her. Instead of dwelling on the missed opportunities, Reese could embrace the rivalry, fueling fan excitement for high-stakes matchups. That alone could elevate her name and make her even more relevant. Angel, imagine stepping onto the court with the world watching your every move. You have the chance to rewrite your story, silence the critics, and prove yourself, not with drama, but with undeniable skill. Stop complaining and start competing. And here's the reality check. Thanks to Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's popularity and revenue are skyrocketing. Embracing the Caitlin effect could directly benefit Angel, making her more successful both on and off the court. Reese's journey is far from over. She can either redefine her legacy or fade into irrelevance. The choice is hers: sit on the sidelines and pout, or step into the spotlight and thrive. One thing is certain: the WNBA is watching. While Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are making power moves, Angel's hopes of forming a dominant team collapsed in free agency. But the season hasn't started yet. Maybe she'll prove the doubters wrong and turn this around, or maybe this is just the beginning of a long, painful reality check. Either way, we'll be here to break it all down. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on the latest WNBA drama, blockbuster trades, and game recaps.